Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new video on the 3D Critic channel. I am David, your host, and today I'm going to be talking about the Puma All Pro Nitros in the Scoot Henderson colorway. And I'm going to break it down section by section and give my final thoughts to see if this is a good shoe for you to play in. Now, to start everything off, they originally retail for $130 on Puma's website. So if you guys are interested in this specific colorway, I will leave a link in the description box below for you guys. So for traction, it features an ice blue translucent outsole with a multi-directional traction pattern in the forefoot with lateral and vertical lines. And when you go into the heel area, you're getting a diamond traction pattern. Now for overall traction on the All Pro Nitros, it is absolutely amazing, and in my opinion it's the best, if not one of the best traction setups that you can have as of right now. The multi-directional traction pattern in the forefoot with the vertical lines as well as the lateral lines, you're going to get universal grip, whether you're doing lateral movements such as trying to get open for a shot, being a perimeter defender, sticking with your defender toe-to-toe, you are going to excel in that a lot, and you're going to create a lot of space when you are making lateral cuts. The vertical movements such as hard stops, step backs, really quick first steps, you're going to get a lot of traction that way, and you're going to create a lot of space on the floor with this. And I was absolutely floored with this traction setup. It didn't need any break-in time. The first moment I played in them, it was really grippy, and it was very nice to play with as a whole. With dust, it doesn't really collect as much, but once you collect dust, it's one quick wipe and it's nothing major. I haven't wiped it that often. Usually like 2 to 3 full games of like 3-on-3s, you're gonna have to like wipe it every now and then, but outside of that, it's absolutely fine in my opinion, and it doesn't really slip when it collects dust as well. So it was really nice, really amazing overall, and I was happy with it as a whole. And on top of that, the overall durability of the traction pattern is really good as a whole. I haven't experienced any fraying in the heel area as well as in the forefoot. There is a little bit of signs of wear, but it's nothing major. It's like the tip of the lines itself. But outside of that, the overall traction pattern itself is holding up pretty well, and I had absolutely no issues with it when it comes to like durability as a whole. And the rubber itself is not really that pliable. It's kind of firm in hand. So if you want to play with these outdoors, you should be fine as a whole. And because of the greatness with the grip and the traction pattern and how well it performs on a clean court as well as on a dusty court, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. Now when it comes to cushion, it basically just features a full-length Nitro infused foam. Now, as simple as the cushioning setup is, it ticks all of the boxes that you need in a basketball shoe. For example, in the forefoot, it is very responsive, and it helped me a lot when I was reacting to people's plays, especially getting steals, and reacting to people going left and right and cutting down to the basket as well. It is also really bouncy, and it'll help you a lot when you are trying to contest people's shots close up, as well as closing in on other people's shots as well. Rebounding especially was really effortless for me in that aspect. It was really nice, and I was able to generate a lot of air when it came to that. In the heel, it is nice and soft, and there's a good bit of compression. That way you won't feel the heel aching and all the impact going into your back. The overall impact protection was really nice. It is a little firm. It's not like Harden Volume 7 impact protection, but it will get the job done as a whole. And the overall heel to toe transition is really nice and fluid. All of the energy that you will create in the heel strikes, it gives you all of that energy into the forefoot, and it gives you a really nice fluid step every step that you take. And I was able to run around effortlessly around the court. It was a really nice shoe to play in, and I was overall very happy with the cushioning setup. It is really close to being one of the best cushioning setups that you can get. especially with the simplicity of it all. So for that, I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. Now for materials, it features a multi-layered mesh material on the lateral side of the shoe as well as in the forefoot, and you're going to get more of it in the medial side of the shoe as well. Along the shoelace area, you're going to get this glossy synthetic leather all around. And for the tongue, you are getting a nicely padded mesh tongue with this checkered pattern and a pull tab with double zeros. And the checkered pattern continues all throughout the ankle collar area, and it continues on to the back of the heel with this leather patch, which continues that checkered pattern as a whole. And it has the word odd, which is quite odd up until the point I found out that it is an acronym, which stands for overly determined to dominate, which you can see in the insole of the shoe itself. And it also comes with an extra pair of flat shoelaces, so you can change the shoe from looking like this to looking like this. So the overall materials, it's pretty comfortable on your foot. The multi-layered mesh is really comfortable when you put it on your foot. It's really flexible as well. You have a lot of degrees of freedom when you are going to play in them, and you won't experience any pinching from the material itself. In the tongue area, the tongue is nicely padded, that way you won't feel any pinching from the shoelaces also. So you're going to be really comfortable with the overall mesh material as well as the tongue itself around the shoe line area. In the back of the heel, it's decently padded as well. It feels really comfortable on your heel as well, and it will give you a pillow-like feeling when you are wearing these. So overall, it's really nice. The looks of it as well, I really like it with the Puma logo here, as well as the color scheme, the checkered pattern on the tongue, as well as the ankle collar, and this really nice leather patch in the heel as well. I like the overall design of the shoe. However, the only thing I don't like about it is this glossy synthetic leather. It will crease over time, and it will wear out on you a little bit. That is my only main concern of like durability as a whole. Outside of that, the overall durability of the rest of the materials, the mesh material, it's holding up pretty well. I had a lot of playing time with these, and I haven't experienced any signs of wear on the mesh material itself. So overall, because of that, I'm going to give the overall materials a 9 out of 10. Now for overall fit, I would personally go true to size. The width of the shoe is really nice and snug, and the length of the shoe as well. I didn't have any dead space in the toe box area right here, and it basically gave me a nice 1-to-1 fit, and it was very comfortable as a whole. So if you have a wide foot, go up half a size. If you suffer with a bunion, I would go up half a size as well, because my big toe would cradle in a little bit. So keep that in mind when you are purchasing a pair of these. And if you have a narrow foot, go down half a size as well. So for overall fit, because of the 1-to-1 fit overall, I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. So the overall lockdown is pretty good. In the forefoot, it is a really snug 1-to-1 fit. That way it won't move around in the footbed. And also these two eyelids with the cables goes all the way to the end of the midsole. That way it'll help cradle the forefoot even more. That way you won't experience any sliding in the forefoot. In the midfoot as well, you're going to get more cables as well, and a lot of eyelets for the shoelaces. That way you can cradle the midfoot even more. And I didn't experience any movement in the midfoot because of that. In the heel, there is some heel slippage, but not enough to the point where it really bothered me that much. But outside of that, the overall lockdown is pretty good in general. So for that, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. Now, when it comes to support, you're going to get a nice, wide, stable base with a bottom-loaded TPU midfoot shank plate that helps with the overall torsional support. And for an outrigger, there isn't really one. It bulges out a little bit. And the midsole itself provides a nice sidewall to help you cradle your foot and help you prevent from rolling your ankle. And the back, you're going to get a really bulky internal TPU heel counter with some lateral support from the foam itself, which will help you prevent the heel from moving from side to side. Now, the overall support is really good on this shoe. The outsole gives you a nice and wide, stable base. That way You have enough surface area to land on your own 2 feet when you are coming down from a jump shot or crashing the boards and coming down with a rebound. It really helps you a lot in that front. The midfoot shank plate helps a lot with the overall torsional support. That way you are balanced at all times within the shoe. The midsole bulge in the forefoot here gives you enough stability. That way you won't roll your ankle as much. There is a lack of an outrigger, however, which is a little cause for concern with ankle rolling. There was one instance where I rolled my ankle, but it wasn't anything major, considering that the base of the outsole is wide enough to give you that much support. And the support from the materials you get itself is really nice. It doesn't give out on you as much. That way it will force you to generate more movement to get you in this position that it will roll your ankle. So for the most part, it kept me on my own 2 feet in that aspect. In the back, you are going to get really good support from the internal TPU heel counter. It prevented the heel from moving from side to side, and the foam from the midsole gives you lateral support. That way you won't have any ankle rolls from the heel itself. So overall, the support was really good for me. It ticked all the boxes aside from the outrigger, but it made up for the wide stable base. So for that, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. So to sum everything up for you guys, it is a really good, well-rounded basketball shoe. I would absolutely recommend it to you guys because the traction is one of the best, if not the best, tractioning setups that you can get. It is very grippy, universal changes of direction anywhere you need it. The cushioning is simple but very nice, very explosive and responsive in the forefoot, and really comfortable and soft in the heel, and it is very fluid as a whole. You'll be running up and down the court with ease in these. The materials overall are really nice and comfortable, flexible yet supportive as well. It gives you a lot of freedom to move, and it is very supportive on top of that with the wide stable base, the shank plate, as well as the bulky TPU heel counter as well. It is a really good basketball shoe, and that is why I would absolutely recommend the Puma All-Pro Nitros. Thank you guys for watching this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Comment down below on your thoughts on the All-Pro Nitros, and if you think they are comparable to the Clyde All-Pros that were released a couple of years ago. I'd appreciate your thoughts on that, along with any other questions that you might have for me as well. If you want to support this channel, hit the subscribe button down below. It is greatly appreciated as always. I appreciate the support. And if you want to stay up to date with any updates with the videos that I'm posting, I will leave my accounts to Instagram as well as TikTok in the description box below for you guys. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and until next time, keep shooting.